Let's consider question 4b. Write 438,000 in standard form. Let's consider the number. We need to arrange for the decimal point to be in this position, between the 4 and the 3 in this example. In this position, to the left of where the decimal point will be, we should have a figure, and that should be one of the following: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. It cannot be a 0, in other words. And of course, for the example shown, the figure is actually 4. So let's consider this number, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a decimal point in an appropriate place, as shown here. And you can see I've put the decimal point here, and to the right of the decimal point you can see I've put a 0 to emphasize the position of the decimal point. But this number and this are the same, because we have this value, and this is really saying there are no decimal fractions. But it is emphasizing where the decimal point actually is. Now keep an eye on the decimal point and watch what I am going to do with it. I'm going to move it, as you can see, to the left. I've moved it once, twice, 3, 4, 5 times. And the reason I've moved it 5 times, I want the decimal point to be between the 4 and the 3. Let's put the decimal point back to where it was. I'm now going to move it again 5 times. Now the first time I move it, you can see where the decimal point goes to. That is effectively dividing by 10. I've just effectively divided this number by 10. Now what I'm going to do is to move the decimal point again, and this is dividing by 10 again. So I've divided twice by 10. I'll move the point again, dividing by 10 again, divided by 10 again, and divided by 10 again. So this number is this number here after it's been divided by 10 5 times. So let's move these two numbers, and I put an equal sign between them, as you see here. But when you do that, we've got to ask the question, are they equal? Well, the answer is no, they're not, are they? Because this is much bigger than this number here. And of course, this number we obtain by dividing this one by 10 5 times. So in order to make this equal sign valid, what we need to do is to multiply, as you see appearing now, this number by 10 5 times. Now, when we consider these 5 multiplications, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10, that can be written as 10 to the power 5. So this number, with all of the multiplications complete, is equal to this number here. So we can go on to say that 438,000 is going to be equal to 4.380000 multiplied by 10 to the 5. And remember, 10 to the 5 is this lot here, 10 times 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. Of course, if you consider all of these zeros here, they don't actually add any value to the overall number. So we can effectively ignore those zeros, get rid of them. So we now can go on to say that we have this equal to 4.38 times 10 to the 5. So we can see we have 438,000 equals 4.38 times 10 to the 5. And you can see the decimal point is here between the 4 and the 3. And the number here is 4. And remember, this has to be either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. It can't be a 0. So having the decimal point here and having this multiplying this number, because what this is doing is telling us to move this decimal point in this direction 5 times, which would give us this number back. So this is the standard form. So a number in standard form will always have 2 parts. This part and this, where this is always a power of 10. In this case, the power of 10 is 5, 10 to the 5. And this will always be a number that has to the left of the decimal point one figure, not two figures, one figure. And that figure has to be 1 all the way through and up to and including 9. It cannot, for example, be a 0. And of course, in this example, it is a 4. So we can simply, on the dotted line, write the answer as 4.38 times 10 to the 5.